So, in today's video, I wanted to not only give my feedback on how working a 9 to 5 is the newest modern day form of slavery, because think about how the majority of us are working jobs when we could be doing something else worthwhile. And not just a working jobs, but working jobs whereas we have to go into a workplace that we barely want to be at or either in, and having to contribute the majority of our days to working at either at or in by working in most cases 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. In some cases, upwards to 12 hours a day for all of us who may have jobs who may require you to work mandatory overtime, or even if for some of us who don't have jobs that may require mandatory overtime, but may have it where you could volunteer. It's called voluntary overtime. Still, this is due to the simple fact that the average 9 to 5, I would say, is a new form of slavery. I would call it more so modern day slavery. Because think about how so many of us have to dedicate pretty much our whole entire lives from, I would say, high school all the way up until adulthood, till we get elderly, till we get 62 years old, in some cases 65 years of age. For instance, if you're a man and you end up retiring while working a job, after working your whole life, after working ever since the age of 16, in some instances years old, and you finally may have reached 65, well, that means due to the average life expectancy of the average man being 77 years old, that mean after you were to retire, you will have a total of 11 and a half, 12 years only to be able to enjoy the rest of your life without having to go to a workplace repeatedly and punching in and out on the time clock. We'll be able to travel, spend, if you have grandkids, which most likely at that age a lot of people do, or even great grandkids in some instances, you will have the time to be able to spend with them, but barely. And then if you may want to be able to finally travel, you could be able to do so, but it wouldn't be the type of, I would say, excitement you experience while traveling as opposed to when you were in your 30s. Because with the more older you get, the more your body breaks down. It's just something that comes with being elderly. And the less energetic you are usually to do more things, to have more fun on top of that. Anyways, let me show some TikTok clips to prove my point on how the 9 to 5 is the new form of slavery. So give me a minute.
Is it just me, or does it feel like we only get one day off, especially for the ones who work Monday through Friday? Because I feel like Saturday is my only day off. Sunday, I'm prepping for Monday, and I have anxiety, and I'm dwelling about the week already. That's ghetto.
I'm so grateful for having a job, but baby, I'm sick and tired of going to work every single day. Like, it comes to a point. Why are we working 5 days a week with only 2 days off? What sense does that make?
So we have 7 days out of the week. Why are we working 5 of them? Like, seriously, who came up with that system? 5 days on, 2 days off? The math ain't mathin', buddy. I feel like 4-3 is more reasonable. 5-2 is just disrespectful. And then on top of that, I have to spend 8 out of the 24 hours at work. Like, I already spent 8 of it sleeping. I don't know. They definitely set us up to fail in this life.
I would say so too, in my personal opinion. But I also want to state this, okay, about the average life expectancy being 77 years old, usually for a man, judging from statistics. How about for women? It's just a tad bit longer, whereas they are usually guaranteed, the average female is usually guaranteed to live no longer than 81 years. And they'll put it another way, that the average life expectancy for a woman, by being a tad bit more higher than it is for the average man, is 81 years of age. Therefore, if you may be a woman, I just thought, who may have worked a job from all the way from as young as 16 years old, while being in high school, until you were to finally reach 65 years old. Well, ladies, that'll mean you'll just have a total of only 15 and a half to 16 years, which would speed by like that after you were to retire. And you could be able to enjoy life, true enough, after you were to be able to retire, but you will be way more up in age, to the point where you could be able to hardly travel anymore, as opposed to when you were in either your 20s, 30s, or 40s, without having all these health issues. On top of that, for the most part, all you will have left to do after retirement is just do yard work around your house. For a lot of you who may be around that age bracket, or either spend time with your grandkids or great grandkids. And not only that, but chances are your grandkids may not want to spend time with you for the most part, because whether you know it or not, and this is just judging from my perspective, when the more you get up in age, the more your social circle usually decreases. The more also people, whether less people like being around you, due to you, as a lot of other people, much younger people, will consider you as it's old. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Anyways,
I was in a place where like I hated my job. Like I would come in the Sunday before it's time for me to go into work, I would not get sleep. Like, and it's happened like weeks on weeks on weeks. Like,
you know what the crazy shit is,
what's
bro?
up?
You felt that the Sunday before you're going to work, right? And it's like, yo, you work a job where you have to work 5 days, like Monday through Friday. You feel me? So you only got really one day off.
One day off,
which
bro.
was Saturday. You know what I mean? Yo, at least like with my job, I only technically work 3 days a week. You know what I'm saying? I do 3 12-hour shifts. So it's like, I can't imagine having a Monday through Friday job. Like, to me, that's a nightmare. You know what I mean? Like, yo, because it's like, bro, when you work Monday through Friday, you only have a day and a half forever, like for your whole life, like for your whole working career.
Bro, your Sunday is pretty much you preparing for Monday.
That's crazy to me, bro.
And tell me, am I right or wrong, people? But I would say another reason why I would say having a 9 to 5 is another form of slavery, a modern day form of slavery. Is how many of us, in order for us to be able to have to take some extra time off, whether it may be either 1 week out of the whole year or 2 weeks out of the whole year, because with the more annual leave you are able to accrue, with the more longer you work on the same job, the more weeks of vacation or more days of vacation you are entitled to take. In most cases, though, in order to be able to obtain those days or gain those extra days off or extra weeks off, you have to contact usually either a manager or a supervisor on your job. Tell me if that's not the sincerest form of modern day slavery. Shouldn't most of us have to be able to be entitled to have free time out of the whole year on our own without having to get someone else's permission to do so? Just think about it. Think about how a lot of these CEOs of these corporations, these Fortune 500 companies, by the likes of either Publix, Target, or Walmart, are for the most part free to take a vacation anytime out of the whole year they want to, whereas the people who are working for these corporations have to always, in most cases, consult or contact either a manager or a supervisor to be able to do so. That's slavery all the way around. It's nowhere around it. And I'm just calling a spade once again. Anyways.
What I want to know is, who came up with working 5 days a week and only having 2 days off?
That's the most dumbest decision somebody could have ever signed off on. I know it wasn't then one of us because couldn't have been.
Lots of weird stuff is normalized. 12-hour shifts with almost no breaks, working almost full time while studying, students eating pasta every day or skipping meals because they can't afford more, a full year of work for a week of vacation, etc. It's so dumb if you ask me. And I agree with you. Okay. Like, it doesn't make sense at this point. I feel like there needs to be some type of change because this whole 5-day work week, I think this was, I don't know, it just doesn't work for us anymore. Right? Like, our schedules are different. People have families, they have lives, they want to get in exercise, they want to get in this, have some fun and playtime. But when you're working 12-hour shifts, like, when do you get playtime? There's no time for you to like decompress. And it's like they expect us to work the majority of our lives and then maybe retire at 65 and then spend 10 years doing what you want to do. But that's not something I wanted to do. At first, I was a part of that mold, but I had to break free. Okay, I needed to take my time back, and I did. And this is how.
This may sound crazy, but my job don't need me 5 days a week. Like, I don't need to be at work doing the same shit 5 days a week. I really don't. Like, I got shit to do. Like, I got to clean up my room and shit. Type shit. Like, 5 days? You need me 5 days. And not only you need me for 5 days, you need me for 8 to 10 hours out the day. That don't sound right to me. Do that sound right to you? Because I don't understand that shit. Like, am I tripping? Or you should pay me per minute. Like whatever I'm getting paid, whatever is my hourly pay, it need to change to my minutely pay type shit. Like, because you don't need me 5 days a week. You hire all these people just to need me 5 days out of the week. And don't work no job where you got a peak period. When you got to work that extra day. Why do you need me 6 days? Bro, I ain't washed the dishes because I'm tired, cuz. Bro, stop, bro. If any president need to pass a law, they need to pass that. You feel me? And don't work a job where you gotta be on call. That shit should be illegal.
I don't think the working week should be 5 days. Genuinely, I don't think it should be 5 days.
What should it be then?
I think it should at least be. Working week should be about 4. Like, I feel like you could drop a day. Because how much work do you two really get done on a Friday?
I work hard.
Yeah. I don't think.
Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like, you share, you comment. Last but not least, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'm out.